Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so my number one then is definitely Sniper Elite 3. Last week I said that I don't think I'll get a chance to play Sniper Elite 3. Within minutes of finishing the podcast, I was asked to actually review the online parts of Sniper Elite 3. So then within a couple of days, had my own copy of Xbox One. Have you had a chance to play much of the online modes? I know you mentioned them briefly last week.
That's what I'm going to talk about. Because it's my number 3, isn't it? So I jump back in for some online.
Of course. Okay. Well, just before then, I'll say I did jump on the campaign briefly as well. Played the first couple of missions of the campaign and thoroughly enjoyed myself. To be honest, I didn't have any of the bugs that you were talking about, so that definitely helped. I mean, there were issues with texture glitching and stuff sort of appearing in and out of the background, which
anything aesthetic like that never bothered me. But I mean, it did get progressively worse as it went on.
Right. But I thought it felt like a more streamlined and slightly smarter version of Sniper Elite than V2. With the stealth parameters were a lot more defined, which I think helped. It made the game feel a little less realistic, not that it ever felt necessarily realistic before. Maybe a little less organic in terms of there's a lot going on the HUD. You're getting like XP bonuses and stuff like that all the time. It felt very gamey, but when the sniping is as fun as it is, and it still is fun to line up those headshots, hold your breath, watch the little red thing get smaller and smaller, and then pop off those gruesome headshots and body shots and testicle shots and things like that. I mean, it is unnecessarily savage, but I would be lying if I said I didn't get a kick out of it. But that's well, I say it says more about me than anyone else, but it seems to be that everyone likes that plays that game. I wouldn't mean it's no classic by any means. The level, it's probably the second. I think it's the second level. It's quite a big open area. There's a lot of like rocky outcrop to it, and as a sniper, what I'd probably want to be doing is using a lot of those rocks, climbing over them, lying prone on them. But as you said, they're invisibly walled, so you can't actually climb on any of them. But they might as well just be a wall that you could look through. So it means that strategically you can't really snipe as well as you might want to be able to. But I mean, I thought it was fun, like a good stealth game with great sniping action. And then, but I was like, okay, I'm probably not gonna play this whole game. It's fine. Jumped online. First of all, a note to the matchmaking system. Never seen anything like it in 10 plus years of Xbox Live. A game where you choose a match and then it tells you, okay, if I find one, I'll let you know. See you later. And then it just nudges you, and it invites you to this party. The game invites you to a party that it's absolutely baffling. So you have to accept the notification as if you're friends with it. I don't know. It's, honestly, it feels like something that I made. And this was the only way that I could work out how to do it. And I couldn't work out any other way to do it. And I thought I'd just fucking leave it. But, whatever. Gets you into a game. Not that, well, it obviously doesn't work very well because I never, in all the time that I played it, had a full game. Most of the matches that I played were on my own. Then second to that were one-on-ones. But finally, I did get into a party with, I think it was 5 people, but one of them dropped out. So it turned into a lengthy series of 2-on-2 games over a number of maps on a mode called Distance King, which is a very clever mode where you only rewarded points at how far away you kill your opponent from. So, yes, you can run up behind him and shotgun around the back, but you don't get any points for it. You get like 3 points, whereas a sniper shot from the other side of the map gets you like 150 points. So it kind of eliminates that shitty side of the game, which is prevalent in the deathmatch and team deathmatch modes. And me and this American guy, at first, he was on mic, I wasn't. He was kind of telling me what to do. And I was definitely annoying him at first because I was just running around like I was playing Battlefield and getting shot in the head. But after half an hour or so, I started to adjust to exactly what I was supposed to be doing. And then I had the revelation that you can spot people with your binoculars, and they will be spotted for your partner. Like in Battlefield, but I didn't realise that was part of this game. And once I worked that out, I suddenly became quite a fantastic asset to this guy who was at that point much better at lining up his shots. So I was just creeping around and making sure I spotted people and then just enjoying it as they got sniped by someone at the other side of the map. We were working without really communicating with each other. We were working as a team while the people we were playing against were basically standing next to each other, which in this game is actually a terrible idea. You want to split up. And then when I started nailing my own headshots, he spotted someone for me, and the guy was looking completely the wrong way, so I took my time, took my shot, lined it all up, got the red mark on it, and then if you hit it, it actually cuts to their point of view, and you get to see the headshot go in as you do in the single-player game. It doesn't have the graphic Mortal Kombat style slow-mo through the X-ray and all that stuff, but it's still fucking satisfying. And I actually shot a guy through the lens of his binocular, my first ever headshot, and I jumped out of my seat and punched the air like a fucking loser. So and every single time that happened since then, properly satisfying. I mean, that is some seriously satisfying killage in terms of online play. And we just kept playing like that, and I thought it was absolutely tremendous. It's a shame there's no one online. I really thought it was good. Some problems with flickery scenery when you're basically spending your game scanning the horizon and you're getting tricked by a building disappearing and reappearing from view. That doesn't really help matters, but it's always going to be a bit sketchy because it's just one of those games that just is. The budget's not that as high, but it does what it does quite well. They need to sort the matchmaking out. I would be interested to play 6-on-6, but I think that actually might be too many people. I think 2-on-2 really helped because the matches were really, really tense and every kill felt like it mattered, and also it never felt like we were losing control of the situation. As long as we kept hidden, we weren't getting snipes, and when we did foray out and spotted them, we were just running riot, to be honest. These two people had no chance against us over a long series of matches, and I had an absolutely cracking time. I think I ended up awarding it 7 for the review, but it lost a mark for the fact that it was so difficult to get a game with people in, but way better than I thought it was going to be. Really, really good fun.
Yeah, I mean, I played probably about 7 or 8 games of this today, and it was like banging my head against a wall.
Really?
I don't know how you can recommend something that's so faulty, because I mean the matchmaking system is completely and utterly screwed.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
50% of the time, it will just set up a dead lobby for you, or otherwise it will be a lobby with one person or 2 people. I mean, people can join the game if you keep the game alive long enough, but it's such a slow-paced game that most people just leave before things get going. I mean, it is like everything's running through a switchboard and there's an old man snoozing by it, and you just like, wake up and find me a cake. So, for God's sake, this is what era is it? And this is like the best-selling game in the country 2 weeks in a row. You'd think there'd be some people playing it, but I just think that it's a screwed matchmaking system. So I feel bad commenting on it because I basically haven't played enough of it, but the most people I've had in a single game was 5, and that was dull as can be. And I'm not wasting my life waiting for people to arrive that are also probably toiling away in lobbies on their own, waiting for people to join them. It's just, I don't know if the campaign's bugginess extends to the multiplayer. I don't think it does, but some people have found parts of maps where they can snipe from sort of behind or through scenery, so they don't give their position away with the lens. And I kept getting killed by this guy. He looked like he was in a rock, and I even ran up there and he was peppering me the whole time, and I got up there and I couldn't even, I don't know, it seems like people have exploited
that's a shame. I didn't have any of that, but it also doesn't really surprise me that there is stuff like that in this game. That stuff appears in the biggest games, so it's no real surprise in this.
Yeah, there's, in addition to the mode you spoke about, which is all well and good, but if you've got 2 people hiding in a room, getting a series of up-close kills, if they're out of vision, if a sniper can't see them, then they've won the game. There's also no cross mode, which is, in theory, a really terrific idea, but I kept, they basically split the map in half so you can't go over the halfway point. But I kept encountering people repeatedly who'd get 1 kill and then just hide in the house. You can't go and take them out because you can't get over to that part of the area, so that you just sat there for 15 minutes waiting around for someone who's standing inside a house making a cup of tea. So it's just that the mode is completely exploited. I thought, what a great idea. You can't come and shoot you in the back with a shotgun, but if you want to hide it out, you don't even have to step near a window. You can literally hide somewhere where you will never get seen. One thing I do like about the multiplayer is that you have to manage your heart rate so much more than you do in the campaign. Because if you run around, which you have to do sometimes if you've been spotted, you can't bring up that red diamond until you've recovered and you've got your heart rate down. That really comes into play on multiplayer, and it doesn't really in the campaign because the campaign's so... I mean, it probably does on the harder difficulty tiers, but on the main one it doesn't really. There's also... This is another thing that they've taken from the campaign. There's baloney footprints. Sorry, not footprints, footsteps. I spoke about in the campaign, you'd be crouching around, you could hear people, and you could hear... They're not there. The sounds are there to try and keep you... I don't know why they're there. It just seemed like a really sloppy, a really snide technique. But I was in a game, and it was just me versus one guy. The guy who was trapped in the rocks on the other side of the map, and I couldn't kill him, and he just kept killing me. And I was like, oh god, more people have joined. I checked, and they haven't. It's just like footprints running around, footsteps, and it's like, well, just baloney nonsense. Same stuff from the campaign. It is exciting when you catch someone sprinting around, when you zoom in to investigate something, and you just see them sort of run past. But you have to have been hiding for 2 minutes to do that, and I don't know. I love that I really love the fact that there's a create private match option on the multiplayer menu, because they're all private matches. Yes. with the odd accidental random there. I don't know. I think the game, fundamentally, a sniping game, they've just made the most literal. They've tried to make Call of Duty with an emphasis on snipers, and that was never really going to work. I mean, I can imagine it would be much fun if you have a co-op buddy and one of you is watching your back and you're sort of helping each other out.
That's what happened with this guy. He just happened to be. He was like quite highly ranked. He was like ranked 15 or 16, and everyone else was in the low single digits. And yeah, he just seemed to know what he was doing. He gave me a bit of instructions through it was coming through like the TV set, but it was really good because of that. But equally, I could have played the exact same amount of time that I played, never met that guy, had a bunch of shitty one-on-ones with people hiding in houses and getting shot, and never really, because I basically learnt how to play the game while playing with that guy. It's not a huge process, but with it being so difficult to find a match with people, you're in danger of not having the experience that I had. So I can only review from the experience that I had.
Of course.
But clearly, that's not an experience that many people are going to have. And there's no way that you can't fill up 12 people in a game that's been top of the charts for 2 weeks and has done well in America. Like, there are enough people to have a fucking game of Sniper Elite. It might not have the legs of Call of Duty, but there are enough people to have a game of Sniper Elite.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're going to patch that. They better. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, that's quite. It really is quite something. I mean, the thing is, this is the kind of game that could develop into a real cult if you play with, if you had 6 guys versus 6 guys, if there are teams of people who start playing this and who would only need a private matchmaking lobby, then that's fine. This could actually really take off, because I got into a similar situation with you where it was me and one guy. He was high ranked again, and I was spotting people, and we were doing really well. 2 guys left almost immediately.
Yeah.
Because we were just hammering them. So because it does need that level of teamwork, I think it could sort of become a mild success. But I don't know. It's like the main game. There's too much wrong with it for me to be able to recommend it, even though the core of it's entertaining. It just it's a difficult one. It's really,
that is fair. Those are fair criticisms, and like I said, I can no way. When you're talking about a game like Titanfall, I can pretty much guarantee that most people who play it are going to have a very similar experience to what I've had. They're going to, it's going to be full matches, it's going to be fast, it's going to be exciting. Whether or not you like that or not, it's a different thing. But I can't guarantee that you're going to have anywhere near like what I had with Sniper Elite at all.
Yeah.
And body shots and testicle shots and things like that. I mean, it is unnecessarily savage, but I would be lying if I said I didn't get a kick out of it. But that's I say it says more about me than anyone else, but it seems to be that everyone likes that plays that game. I mean, it's no classic by any means. The level, it's probably the second. I think it's the second level. It's quite a big open area. There's a lot of like rocky outcrop to it. And as a sniper, what I'd probably want to be doing is using a lot of those rocks, climbing over with the stealth parameters were a lot more defined, which I think helped. It made the game feel a little less realistic, not that it ever felt necessarily realistic before, maybe a little less organic in terms of there's a lot going on the HUD. You're getting like XP bonuses and stuff like that all the time. It felt very gamey, but when the sniping is as fun as it is, and it still is fun to line up those headshots, hold your breath, watch the little red thing get smaller and smaller, and then pop off those gruesome headshots.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number one then is definitely Sniper Elite 3. Last week I said that I don't think I'll get a chance to play Sniper Elite 3. Within minutes of finishing the podcast, I was asked to actually review the online parts of Sniper Elite 3. So then within a couple of days, had my own copy for Xbox One. Have you had a chance to play much of the online modes? I know you mentioned them briefly last week.
That's what I'm going to talk about. Because it's my number 3, isn't it? So I jump back in for some online.
Of course. Okay. Well, just before then, I'll have them lying prone on them. But as you said, they're invisibly walled, so you can't actually climb on any of them. But they might as well just be a wall that you could look through. So it means that strategically you can't really snipe as well as you might want to be able to. But I mean, I thought it was fun, like a good stealth game with great sniping action. And then, but I was like, okay, I'm probably not going to play this whole game. It's fine. Jumped online. First of all, a note to the matchmaking system. Never seen anything like it. So I did jump on the campaign briefly as well. Played the first couple of missions of the campaign and thoroughly enjoyed myself, to be honest. I didn't have any of the bugs that you were talking about, so that definitely helped. I mean, there were issues with texture glitching and stuff sort of appearing in and out of the background, which...
Yeah, that's anything aesthetic like that never bothered me.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it did get progressively worse as it went on.
Right. But I thought it felt like a more streamlined and slightly smarter version of Sniper Elite than V2.